Hello everyone. Today I'm going to talk about Roman numeral analysis. To write the Roman numeral symbol for a triad, we follow three simple steps. Firstly, we determine the scale degree of the root of the triad. This is our C major scale. This is scale degree 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. We can then build triad on each of the 7 scale degrees. Step 2 is to determine the quality of the triad. We use uppercase Roman numeral for major triad, lowercase Roman numeral for minor triad, uppercase Roman numeral with a plus sign for augmented triad, and lowercase Roman numeral with a circle for diminished triad. In C natural major, we have major chord 1, minor chord 2, minor chord 3, major chord 4, major chord 5, minor chord 6, and diminished chord 7. For C harmonic minor, we have minor chord 1, diminished chord 2, augmented chord 3, minor chord 4, major chord 5, major chord 6, and diminished chord 7. For C natural minor, we have minor chord 1, diminished chord 2, major chord 3, minor chord 4, minor chord 5, major chord 6, and major chord 7. After indicating the quality of the triad, we then use the figured base to indicate the position of the triad. For root position triad, we don't use any figured base after the Roman numeral symbol. For first inversion triad, we use the superscript 6 to indicate its inversion. For second inversion triad, we use 6-4 to indicate its inversion. These triads are all in root position, so we don't need to put any figured base after Roman numeral. These triads are all in first inversion, so we put the figured base 6 after Roman numeral. This is 1/6, 2/6, 3/6, 4/6, 5/6, 6/6, and 7/6. These triads are in their second inversion, so we put 6-4 after Roman numeral. This is 1-6-4, 2-6-4, 3-6-4, 4-6-4, 5-6-4, 6-6-4, and 7-6-4. To write the Roman numeral symbol for 7th chord, we follow three similar steps. Step 1, we determine the scale degree of the root of the chord. Step 2, we determine the quality of the chord, and we use the corresponding Roman numeral symbol for that. Step 3, we determine the position of the chord, and we use the corresponding figured base symbol for that. In natural major, we have major 1/7, minor 2/7, minor 3/7, major 4/7, dominant 5/7, minor 6/7, and half diminished 7/7. In harmonic minor, we have minor major 1/7, half diminished 2/7, augmented major 3/7, minor 4/7, dominant 5/7, major 6/7, and diminished 7/7. In C natural minor, we have minor 1/7, half diminished 2/7, major 3/7, minor 4/7, minor 5/7, and major 6/7, and dominant 7/7. There are also many variations to the Roman numeral analysis, in one of which inversions are labeled using the English alphabet rather than the figured base notation. So we use A for root position chord, B for first inversion chord, C for second inversion chord, D for third inversion chord, etc. Some people use capital Roman numerals for chords of any quality. There are also people who label minor chords with capital Roman numerals and put a "min" afterwards. Some people label chords in minor keys as if they were altered chords in major keys. Now let's talk a little bit about the history of Roman numeral analysis. So before the invention of Roman numeral analysis, people used to use figured bass to study harmony. So that means they think the bass note is the most important note of the chord rather than the root of the chord. And they did not have the concept of root until the early 1600s. And it was not until 1722 that Rameau recognized the importance of the succession of root. Triads was the first person to use any number system to indicate the scale degree of the root of the triad. The first writings of Roman numeral analysis were written in the 1770s. In 1817, Weber popularized Roman numeral analysis. There are also many other very important figures such as Schinker and Schönberg who also used Roman numeral analysis. Today, Roman numeral analysis is still being widely used in many countries and regions, which include all the English-speaking countries, most of the former colonizations of English countries, most of the Southern European countries, most of the non-Western countries that are influenced by the US, such as Japan and South Korea, and there are also a few Eastern European countries which had switched to Roman numeral analysis after Cold War, and there are also many other countries and regions. Today we talked about Roman numeral symbols and how to write them. Firstly, we determine the root of the chord and the scale degree of that root in the key. Secondly, we determine the quality of the chord. And thirdly, we determine the position of the chord. We have also talked about the many variations of Roman numeral analysis. We then discussed about the history of Roman numeral analysis. And finally, we have talked about where the Roman numeral analysis is still very popular. And thank you for watching this video, and please subscribe, and we will have more video coming